Hello everyone. In the last video we have seen one example of a non-homogeneous Fredholm integral equation with a symmetric kernel. But if you remember, when we considered the kernel kx t, that was a symmetric kernel as well as a separable kernel, and therefore we used the method of separable kernel to find out the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions of the corresponding homogeneous Fredholm integral equation. Okay, so and now let us consider a different type of example using Hilbert-Schmidt method solve y of x equal to x plus lambda times integral from 0 to 1 k x comma t y of t dt, where k x comma t is given by this formula, that is x into t minus 1, and here it is t into x minus 1 when x is less than or equal to t, and here it is less than or equal to 1. Okay, now you can clearly see here it is not the separable type kernel like how we used to take it. Okay, and here it is a symmetric kernel. Okay, that is you can check kx comma t is equal to kt comma x. Okay, now we want to find a solution of the Fredholm integral equation, which is a non-homogeneous one, okay, with the kernel which is given in this way. Okay, so by using the Hilbert-Schmidt method. So in Hilbert-Schmidt method, what do we need? We need the eigenvalues and the corresponding normalized eigenfunctions corresponding to the homogeneous equation. Okay, so the first step will remain the same, that is we find the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions and the corresponding eigenfunctions of the homogeneous equation, that is y of x equal to lambda times integral from 0 to 1 k x comma t y of t dt. Okay, so where kx comma t is given by this definition. Let me write it. This we'll call it as star. Okay, so so we will have to write what is y of x. So how do we write y of x? Y of x is equal to lambda times integral from 0 to x. Okay, and then we will write plus lambda times integral from x to 1. Okay, so we split the kernel in this way and we write it. Okay, so integral from 0 to x, so t is less than x, so it is this, so t into x minus 1 y of t dt, and here it will be x into t minus 1 y of t dt. Okay, so now we want to find out the eigenvalues and corresponding normalized eigenfunctions of this particular homogeneous Fredholm integral equation. Okay, but we don't have any when kernel was separable, we found out a11, a12, and we used that method of d lambda and found out the eigenvalues and functions. Okay, but here if you see, we don't have any explicit method that we have studied. So what we will do is, we will try to find out the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions of the corresponding boundary value problem. Okay, and that will serve our purpose, because whatever is the solution of the corresponding boundary value problem. Okay, so suppose this is the Fredholm integral equation, which is a homogeneous one. Okay, then when I write the corresponding boundary value problem for this homogeneous equation, the solution of that boundary value problem and the solution of this homogeneous equation will be the same. Okay, because I think when we studied the converting boundary value problem, converting Fredholm integral equation to boundary value problem, or maybe the boundary value problem to the Fredholm integral equation, I have already mentioned this to you all. Okay, so what we will do is, we will consider the corresponding boundary value problem and solve that boundary value problem. You will also note that, see, when we find out the eigenfunction, what are we actually finding? We are finding a non-zero solution of this particular homogeneous equation. Okay, this equation 2. When we find out the eigenfunction, we are actually finding the non-zero solution of this equation 2. Okay, so now what we will do is, we will find out its corresponding boundary value problem and we will solve that boundary value problem. So whatever eigenvalue and eigenfunction we will get, those will be the same ones for this particular homogeneous equation, that is equation 2. Okay, and once we get those eigenvalues and eigenfunctions, then easily we can solve this equation 1, because for that we have the nice formula which is given by Hilbert-Schmidt method. Okay, that series form depending on the values of lambda. Okay, but to find out the eigenvalue and eigenfunction, we will have to use the boundary value problem. So how do we form the equivalent boundary value problem? So first I will have to differentiate this with respect to x. So differentiating it with respect to x, we will get y dash of x is equal to lambda times integral from 0 to x t y of t dt plus lambda times x into x minus 1 y of t dt minus 0. So then the second term plus, I am using the Leibniz rule for this. Okay, so then I am differentiating this second term with respect to x. So that will be lambda times integral from x to 1 t minus 1 y of t dt minus x into x minus 1 y of, sorry, it should be y of x, right? Y of x, not dx. y of x. Okay, so you can clearly see this will get cancelled. 1 2, we will be left with this. Then again differentiate it with respect to x, so y double dash of x will be equal to lambda times, differentiating this will give us 0, so x into y of x plus lambda times minus x minus 1 into y of x. Okay, so this is equal to lambda times, if you solve this equation, what we will get, this lambda x y of x, it will get cancelled with this when we multiply it. Okay, and we will be left with this, that is lambda times y of x. Okay, so what we get here, y double dash minus lambda y equal to 0. Okay, so with this after differentiating 2 times we are done, because you can see there are only linear terms. Okay, so and usually for you all, when we ask we will be asking you all only with the 2 differentiation terms. Okay, so y double dash of x will give us this. Then the boundary conditions, if you check y of 0, the 2 boundary points are what, 0 and 1. So y of 0 is if you substitute 0 here, so if you substitute 0 here, what we will get, that will be y of 0 will be equal to 0. Okay, so y of 0 is 0, and y at 1 will be equal to equal to 0. Y at 1 is also equal to 0. So we have got the corresponding boundary value problem. So the problem is y double dash minus lambda into y equal to 0 with the boundary conditions y of 0 equal to 0 and y at 1 also equal to 0. Okay, so now we have to solve this boundary value problem. If you see, how do we solve such type of differential equation? We will have to take the corresponding characteristic equation and then solve that characteristic equation. So how the characteristic equation will look like? It will be something of the form m square minus lambda equal to 0. Okay, and then we take this m square to be equal to lambda, and then m is equal to plus or minus root of lambda. Okay, so what are the roots? Roots are plus or minus root lambda. So when we write the solution y of x, how do we write the solution y of x? We write that depending on the nature of these roots, because we have different formulas. If the roots are repeated, then if the roots are complex, and if the roots are real and distinct, we have several formulas, right? So like e raised to x, then sometimes we write it as cos x plus sin x, or whatever the angle is. Okay, cos mx, cos that real part, imaginary part. Okay, then if it is real and repeated, we write them in terms of x, then x into e raised to x, then x square, and several other formulas are there. Okay, so in order to know the nature of these roots, we will have to know what this lambda looks like. So therefore now we will take different cases, like lambda is equal to 0, or lambda is greater than 0, or lambda is less than 0. Okay, so case 1, if lambda is equal to 0. Okay, then how the problem will look like: y double dash equal to 0, and the boundary conditions y of 0 equal to 0, y at 1 is equal to 0. So now we will solve this. So how do we solve this particular differential equation of case 1? Again we take the corresponding auxiliary equation, which is m square equal to 0. So m is equal to 0, or m is equal to 0. So it is the repeated roots. So in this case, how y of x is written? Y of x is given by the formula sum a plus b into x. Okay, now we substitute the boundary conditions. So y of 0 is what? Y of 0 is a, which is equal to 0. So we get a equal to 0 from here. Then from the second boundary condition, y of 1 is equal to what? B into 1 is equal to 0. This equation implies b is equal to 0, because this 1 is not non-zero, so b has to be equal to 0. Okay, so from here what we get? Y of x is 0 plus 0 into x, which is nothing but 0. Therefore this is not the eigenfunction. Okay, because eigenfunction means what? Some non-zero solution of the equation. Okay, but this is a zero solution, so therefore this is not the eigenfunction. This is not the eigenfunction. Okay, if this is not the eigenfunction, what does that mean? Lambda equal to 0 is not the eigenvalue, because eigenvalue is that value corresponding to which we will get a non-zero solution. This is not the eigenvalue. Okay, now we go for the second case, case 2. So if lambda is greater than 0. Okay, so suppose say let lambda be equal to some mu square, then how the boundary value problem will look like? Y double dash minus mu square y equal to 0. The boundary conditions: y of 0 is 0, y of 1 is equal to 0. So corresponding auxiliary equation will be what? M square minus mu square equal to 0. So that will imply m is equal to plus or minus mu. Okay, so how the solution y of x will be given? Solution y of x will be of the form some constant a into e raised to mu x plus some constant b e raised to minus mu x. Okay, now see here, once we get the roots, I am directly writing the solution y of x. You should already know this, because you all have already done this in your differential equations paper. Depending on the nature of the roots, how do you write the solution? Okay, I think even in somewhere in BSc you study this. Okay, So that is the solution y of x. Now what will be y of 0? Y of 0 will be a plus b equal to 0. Then y of 1 will be equal to a into e raised to mu plus b into e raised to mu. But y of 1 is also equal to 0. This equation implies that a is equal to minus of b. So if I substitute minus b here, what I will get? So that will imply b into e raised to, so this should be minus mu, right? E raised to minus mu minus e raised to mu is equal to 0. Okay, now see here, it is b into something equal to 0. So either this b has to be 0 or this bracket has to be equal to 0. But observe this bracket carefully. It is e raised to minus mu minus e raised to mu, and mu is a non-zero number. Okay, because we have taken lambda square to be strictly greater than 0. So if mu is equal to 0, then lambda will become equal to 0, no? So this is some number which is non-zero, and e raised to x is a 1 function, so this bracket cannot be equal to 0 because the value of e raised to something for two distinct numbers, they cannot be the same. Okay, so what does this imply? It implies that b is equal to 0. So this implies that b is equal to 0. So again, what happened now? If b is 0, it also tells us that a is also equal to 0. Therefore, what is y of x? It is again a 0 solution. So therefore, lambda equal to mu square, or lambda, you can write also as lambda strictly greater than 0, is not the eigenvalue. Okay, and therefore now we go for the next case, that is if lambda is less than 0, then let lambda be equal to minus mu square. Okay, so once we get this minus mu square, what will be the boundary problem looking like? Minus into minus, so it will be plus mu square into y equal to 0. Y of 0 is 0, y at 1 is equal to 0. So the auxiliary equation is m square plus mu square equal to 0. That implies m is equal to plus or minus mu into I. Okay, so now how we will write the solution y of x? This will be some a times cos of x plus some b times sine of x. Okay, so now the first boundary condition, y of x equal to 0, gives us what? A is equal to 0. The second boundary condition, that is y at 1 equal to 0, gives us what? B into sine of 1 is equal to 0. Okay, sorry, I think I have made some mistake here. Okay, this should be not just x, it should be mu x, right? Okay, sine of mu x and cos of mu x, yes, right. So a equal to 0, this will not change, but here what we will get? Sine of mu equal to 0. Okay, b into sine mu equal to 0. We take b non-zero. Okay, because suppose here also b is equal to 0, then what will happen? See here, already a is 0, right? So again, if b is 0, we will get a 0 solution, which is also not the eigen function. Okay, and hence this is also not the eigenvalue. So in order to get the non-zero solution, we will have to take in that case we will get only the trivial solution. But it may if sine of mu is equal to 0, and if b is non-zero, then we will get the non-zero solution. Okay, so here what will happen? Therefore sine of mu is equal to 0. What does this imply? Mu is equal to some n into pi, some multiple of pi. Okay, some integral multiple of pi. Okay, so therefore what will be lambda? Lambda is equal to minus mu square, so that will be minus n into pi the whole square, that is minus n square pi square. Okay, and hence you can see here we will get lambda n, the eigenvalues, n square pi square. These many eigenvalues are there. Okay, so the corresponding eigenfunctions are, so these are the eigenvalues, and eigenfunctions are what will be the eigenfunctions? So a is already 0. Okay, so y of x will look like what? B into sine mu x. Okay, and mu value is what? N into pi. So we will get the eigenfunctions which will be some constant times sine of mu x. But what is mu? Mu is nothing but n pi into this x. So these are the eigenfunctions. Okay, so we set b to be equal to 1, then we get y of x to be equal to sine of n pi x. Okay, so in this case you can observe that there are many eigenvalues, not finite. Okay, here also you can relate that condition, the necessary and sufficient condition. This kernel was not the separable one. Okay, and we have got not the finite eigenvalues but infinitely many eigenvalues. We have got the sequence of eigenvalues. Okay, and corresponding to each eigenvalue there is a eigenfunction which is looking of this form, that is sine of n pi x. So whatever is that n value will give you that particular eigenfunction. Okay, so now how do we normalize this? So the corresponding normalized eigenfunction is xi1 xi. Okay, now we'll call them as yn of x. Okay, because earlier I was calling it xi1, xi2, xi3. Okay, here also we will call them as xi1, xi n of x in general. Okay, so xi n of x will be of the form what? Yn of x divided by norm of yn of x. So we'll calculate this. So this will be xi n of x will be equal to sine n pi x divided by integral from 0 to 1 sine square n pi x dx raised to half. Okay, so this will be this will be root of 2, right? So sine of n pi x divided by 1 upon root 2, so that is root of 2 into sine of n pi x. So these are the corresponding normalized eigen functions. So next step is what? We calculate what is f f1, f2, f3 and so on. So in general we will have to calculate what is fn. So how do we calculate fn? Integral from 0 to 1 f of x into xi n of x dx. So this will be integral from 0 to 1 f of x is what? F of x is equal to x. So x into root of 2 sine of n pi x dx. So this will be equal to root of 2 minus cos of n pi x by n pi plus 1 upon n pi. I'll take it out. Integral from 0 to 1 minus cos of n pi x. So minus of minus, it will become plus dx. So this will be equal to root of 2 into the second term will vanish. Okay, this one will go to 0 because after integration it will be sine n pi x, and then it will go to 0 because limits are 0 and 1. Okay, and here it will be retained, so that will be equal to minus 1 into minus 1 raised to n divided by n into pi. Okay, so this will be equal to minus 1 raised to n plus 1 into root of 2 divided by n into pi. Okay, so fn is equal to this, and you can clearly see that this is a non-zero number. Okay, so what is our aim? We want to solve the given Fredholm integral equation. Okay, and in the given Fredholm integral equation the value of lambda is not given, so we will have to take the cases. That is, if suppose lambda is not the eigenvalue, and one more case, that is if lambda is a eigenvalue. Okay, so case 1, let lambda be equal to lambda n. Okay, where n can take any values, right? Lambda 1, 2, 3 and so on, because there are many eigenvalues. Okay, so if suppose lambda is equal to any of those lambda n, where what is lambda n? Lambda n is eigenvalue. Then how do we conclude whether there is a whether there are infinitely many solutions or there is no solution? That is, we will have to check the corresponding fn's. Okay, so that means we will have to check what is f1, f2, f3 and so on. But in general we know what is fn. Okay, and you can clearly see here fn is a non-zero number. So for any value of n equal to 1, 2, 3, all those, fn is a non-zero number. So we will not get the solution of the given Fredholm integral equation. Okay, if suppose this was 0, then we would have got the solution. Okay, but this is non-zero. So then, since fn is not equal to 0, for n equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on, given integral equation has no solution. Okay, now the only one case remains, that is case 2. Let lambda be not equal to lambda n, where n is going from 1 to 3. That means lambda is not eigen value. Under this case we can directly use the Hilbert-Schmidt formula. Okay, so in this case the solution is given by y of x equal to f of x plus lambda times summation m going from 1 to infinity fm divided by lambda m minus lambda into xi m of x. Okay, so f of x is what? F of x was x plus lambda summation m going from 1 to infinity. What was fm? Fm was fn is equal to this, so fm will be minus 1 raised to m plus 1 root 2 divided by m into pi. Okay, so minus 1 raised to m plus 1 into root 2 divided by m into pi, and this is 1 divided by lambda m So how lambda m's will look like, that also we can substitute in fact, because we know the form of lambda n, right? So lambda n is this, so lambda m will be minus m square pi square. It will be minus m square pi square. Okay, minus lambda. Okay, so minus sign we can take it common outside, and then if I take the minus sign common out, then this will become plus. Okay, and one minus sign from here will vanish, so this will become minus 1 raised to m into root 2 by m pi, and in the numerator we have xi m of x. So how our eigenfunctions look like? They are sine of m pi x. Okay, so it is basically this series. So the y of x, which is a solution, will be of this form. And when will this happen? Only if lambda is not the eigen value. Okay, so now we have seen two types of problems, that is, if suppose we have a non-homogeneous Fredholm integral equation of the second kind, okay, and the kernel kx comma t is of the separable type, then we can find the eigenvalue and eigenfunction by using that separable method. Okay, and if suppose it is not the separable kernel, then we can find out the eigenvalue and eigenfunctions by using the corresponding boundary value problem. Okay, and once we get the eigenvalue and eigenfunctions, then we apply the Hilbert-Schmidt method to find out the solution of given equation. Okay, and always we take the cases, that is, if lambda is the eigenvalue, what will happen, and if lambda is not the eigenvalue, what will happen. But in some of the problems it may so happen that you are already given what is the value of lambda. Under that case you will just have to check what are the eigenvalues and then match it with the given value. Okay, so if the given value is one of the eigenvalues, then you know what is to be done, and if the given value is not the eigenvalue, then also you have the formula to write the solution. Okay, now this is one thing. In this same part, the question can also be asked as the equation will be given y of x to be equal to lambda times integral from sum a to b k x comma t y of t dt. Okay, and suppose kx comma t is of this form. That means not the separable one, but it is some symmetric kernel. Okay, then instead of asking the question find the solution of the equation, the question can also be asked like, for this particular equation just find out the eigenvalues and the corresponding eigen functions. Okay, then what will happen is you won't have to do those extra steps, okay, of finding the solution. You will have to just find the eigenvalues and the eigen functions and keep. Okay.